All right, welcome to this special episode of Real Estate Fight Club. This is a series called What Would You Do, where we talk about professional standard committee and ethics violations. Here with me today is Jim Camarata from KW in Minnesota. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Jennifer, how you doing today?
Great. I'm excited to talk about this. We are going to do you have to disclose the existence of an offer?
Mhm.
Right? So tell us
Yeah.
what happened.
Well, essentially, it's this. The seller listed a property
Okay.
with one of our fellow agents in
Okay.
Somewhereville, USA,
Somewhereville. Okay.
and gave that agent the authority to disclose the existence of other offers, if
Okay.
asked. All right.
Okay.
So listed it, offers, showings, an offer came in, and they were going to meet the next morning, the agent and the seller. There was just the one offer in this particular case. They were going to meet the next morning to review it and hopefully get it all signed.
Okay.
So in the meantime, another agent who had shown the property called the listing agent and asked, "Are there other offers?"
Okay.
Now, remember, first thing I said was that the seller authorized the agent to disclose whether there are other
Do you
offers
think
on
we
or not.
should pause there and say like what they're allowed like in the disclosure to say and not say what the seller can authorize versus because I think there's some confusion there.
I would.
Yeah.
Let's move on
Let's
and
do
then
the
we'll
thing.
circle
Okay,
right
great.
back to that. Yeah.
All right.
Well, and this is where it gets kind of messy. This is what the listing agent responded to that
Oh
other agent.
no.
Quote unquote, "That's confidential information. Please tell your client to make his best offer." Quote unquote.
Okay. So what would what's the code of ethics? What were they citing? Can you read it to me?
Oh, we haven't even gotten there yet, but yes, I do
Oh,
have it.
not yet. We haven't gotten there yet. Oh, no.
So anyway, the,
Okay.
the the property did close with that first one. The agent who called and inquired,
Yeah.
the buyers just said, "Forget about it, find me another property."
Okay.
So they never did write an offer, and the seller went with the first one. So in answer to your question, it's standard of practice, Article 1-15, and all realtors, in response to inquiries from buyers or cooperating brokers, shall, with the seller's approval, disclose the existence of offers on the property. Where disclosure is authorized, realtors shall also disclose, if asked, whether offers were obtained by the listing licensee,
Mhm.
another licensee in the listing firm, or by a cooperating broker. So in other words, is there going to be a variable rate commission structure, or is it
Right.
in-house
Or is it
versus?
your,
Yeah.
okay.
So if authorized by the seller, all the listing agent has to say is a yes or a no.
But do they have to say yes or a no if they're authorized?
Okay, if they're authorized and you called me up and said, "Jim, when does the seller want to close?" And I'll say end of April. Okay. Second question, are there other offers on the property? If I've been authorized by my seller, I'm going to say yes.
Okay, but you have to say yes, is what I was
Mhm,
asking. Okay.
mhm, mhm. Yeah,
Because sometimes
the
it's
client told me
like,
to.
yeah, they
Client
said
told
that
me to.
you, but did they say that you have to, or did they say that you could? Do you see what I'm
They
saying here?
authorized, they authorized me to, and this says in response to shall disclose the existence.
They
Okay,
shall
this is
disclose.
right in the code.
Burn the code. No, I'm just kidding.
So
Okay.
anyway, the seller lost out on another deal that may or may not have been a better terms and conditions offer than the first one.
Yeah, and they may or may not have written, right? So like it's a
Well, they
hard
did. They
thing
did.
to say.
But they chose not to based on the listing agent's response, which was, "That's confidential."
And so then who okay, so it seems like that agent, because if you're authorized then you do disclose it. It seems like that why would that agent say that. It makes no sense. You don't know either. You're
Okay,
just
time for your commercial break.
this is so confusing. Oh my God. All
Time
right.
for
I
your
do.
commercial break.
Yes.
Go
Let me
ahead.
tell you about a couple of our partners. So, one of our favorite partners is our virtual assistant partner, and that is Cyberbacker. So, what they do is based on what you need and what assistance and help you need, they will match you with the right virtual assistant, and it saves you tons of time, and it's cheaper than hiring like a full-time assistant that sits in your office, and it can help you focus. Then you can do things that you want to do, like hang out with your family or generate leads. So you go to cyberbacker.com, you input Fight Club, and you'll get a free gift. Another one of our favorite partners is Pipeline Pro Tools. So what they do is this is a marketing engine, and they have been my number one lead source for all the deals that we've been doing in the last, I would say, 6 to 9 months, just because of how they work. So if you go to pipelineprotools.com/Fight Club, schedule a demo with them, and they will show you how to use the playbook that I've been using, and they will tell you how many leads that you need to get and how many times you need to use that playbook in order to close the deals that you want to close. And just by doing that, they'll give you the playbook. You don't have to buy anything. They'll show you the demo, how to use it, and then you could start getting leads too. Great. All right, Jim.
All right. All right. Fast forward a few months.
Yep.
The seller happened to have bumped into the agent
Oh
that had been
no.
acquired at a social event. And
How
said,
did I know this was going to
yeah,
happen?
oh, of course, it always does.
It always does. Yeah.
So based on what the agent recounted, the seller said,
That's
that
not right.
really wasn't working in my best interest, filed an ethics complaint being
Okay.
in violation of Article 1, specifically 1-15.
It feels like they are in violation, but that's why I was asking you to clarify, is because sometimes there's different negotiation strategies, and one of them could be the disclosure of the multiple offers, and one of them is the non-disclosure of it, right? And so that's why I was asking to clarify, just because they give you the authority to disclose, does that equal the requirement? And it sounds like it does.
Yeah, come back and ask yourself the question, what is in the best interest of my client?
Yeah, but it's not always to disclose that there's multiple offers.
If there are other offers, I will say there are other offers. I'm not going to give any specifics. I'm not going to say they're all cash, they're all going to close in 30 days or 1 week, or I'm
No,
not
I
going
get
to.
that, but the seller could authorize you as the agent to disclose that and to shop the offer with specifics. And I mean, correct?
Look at your listing agreement. This is what's going to drive this. Our listing agreement specifies we either do or we do not disclose the presence of other offers. We
Okay,
can
but
either
if the
disclose
listing
it,
agreement doesn't do it, then you just need to get it in writing.
just clarify it with the seller,
Yeah.
because they may say, oh, just tell them regardless of whether they're asked or not.
Yeah.
Or if you're asked, yes. Or if you're asked, tell them nothing. But of those three choices, your seller has to tell you
Yeah, but
which
there's
one to
like
do.
also there needs to be some room for us as the professional. I mean, part of my value is my negotiation skills. So if you're telling me all this stuff, I would rather you tell me, like, hey, here's what I want. I want you to do what you do best, which is negotiate and get me what I want. I could give two shits how you do it, right? As long as it's ethical and legal and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Like, is that allowed?
Here's my position.
Maybe I don't want to know.
Here's my position. As a broker and as a successful agent with many years experience, I want to be treated by my fellow agents. I want to treat them as they treat me, and vice versa. The
I
both of you.
agree. However,
So if I ask, hey, Jen, do you have other offers on that listing of yours? Because
Yeah,
that's going to dictate how I prepare my offer
I
for
agree.
your client. I want to be able to get it, number one, for
Yeah,
my client.
right.
So by your being honest with me and saying, yeah, Jim, there are other offers, I'm going to go back to my client, my buyer client, and say, okay, uh, Denise, this is what we need to do now. This is what I recommend and how
But
to package it.
I have two questions for you. One, are you glad that you're not my broker? No, just kidding.
Boy, is that
Because
a
I'm
load.
always like, I'm sorry I did that. I
That's a
don't
load question.
know.
No, 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 no.
Okay,
Hey, I've been doing this long enough that, I
I'm
roll with the
just kidding.
punches.
But
I can still say no.
no, don't do it. Well, I've already done it by then. The other thing is okay, so I've had clients before that are like, okay, look, we want these four things. So I'm like, are you cool with me just like telling people that? And they're like, yeah. So then I just like tell them that. So if you call me and say, hey, do you have multiple offers? I'd be like, look, Jim, here's the four things that they want. If you can get them all four things, that's going to be great. If you can only get them three of the four things, that's fine too. Do the best you can. Try to get them all four things.
But do you have other offers?
I mean, sometimes it is the benefit of the seller to tell the buyer's agents yes. And sometimes it's the benefit of the seller to not disclose it.
And that can work one of two ways as well, because
Correct.
there's going to be buyers who say, I don't want to get into an auction or
Right.
bidding war. I don't want to do that. So it could backfire.
It
But
could.
again,
And we wouldn't know. Right. So that's
we won't.
why, as the listing agent, if our primary objective is to help the seller get what they want without
Yep.
breaking the law, like obviously, right? Like I don't want to have to say that every time.
Terms and conditions.
Then I mean, there's you have to and as the listing agent, you have contacted this buyer's agent prior to them going into the property. You will have a good guess as to where their client's head is at that can help you negotiate better for your seller.
When I'm representing the buyer, I try to get into dialogue with the listing agent
Yeah,
because I
for sure.
learn a lot. Some listing agents get diarrhea of the mouth and
Same
they
with
tell you
buyer
everything.
agents.
And yeah, and then there are others who are just very, very tight-lipped and only tell you the basics.
Yeah.
Again, what's going to be in the best interest of your client? And if
It
you're
doesn't
representing the
seem
seller,
like in this situation, based on what you read to me, it doesn't seem like that response from the listing agent was really in the best interest of the client. I cannot think of a
bingo.
scenario where that makes sense. So I would say they did violate.
And he was found in violation because he did not have the client's best interest at his heart. He did not divulge the existence of other offers when he was instructed and authorized to do so.
Mhm.
And he did not fulfill his fiduciary obligation of fulfilling Article 1, 1-15 to protect his client's
Boo.
interest. He could have potentially had another offer that could have been better,
Or
and he
not.
blew it.
We just
He
don't
blew it.
know. But unless he was able to say, look, this response was actually in the best interest. I mean, I agree with that. And
Didn't
I
fly. Nope. He tried that, and the hearing panel said, "Nope,
no.
we don't buy that. Nope,
You
you
know
do
what?
not
I
have
agree.
the client's interests at heart." So it always comes down to that: what is going to be in the best interest of my client? In this
Right.
case, guy blew
Yeah.
it.
So weird. People are
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
Well, if people want to read the case, I did drop it in the vault. So that's jennifermertlin.com/vault. But Jim, if people want to get a hold of you or they have a referral for you in Minnesota, what is the best way?
I love referrals. Jim Camarata at kw.com or 612-562-7461.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.